343 is back from their holiday break, and in this Waypoint post, Sketch outlined some updates that we can be looking forward to. So in this video, we're going to talk about this post, we're going to talk about the updates that are upcoming, and everything else. So without further ado, let's hop right in. First things first, 343 acknowledged the ongoing issues with Big Team Battle. They've been working on these issues since nearly launch, and despite a few attempts at solving and mitigating the issues with BTB before the holiday break, they weren't able to get it fixed, as I'm sure you all know, as currently BTB is still pretty unplayable, especially if you're trying to play in a fire team. Now they do point out that BTB has technically remained playable, you can get into matches sometimes, but there were matchmaking issues that increase with more players and larger fire teams, and you end up with a low chance of successfully joining into a game together. Now they did have a strike force continue to work on these issues over the holiday break, and 343 actually believes that they have a fix in hand for the core issue. This fix went into QA last week, and so far they're not seeing the issue occur internally when they're using this build. This is pretty good news because once they continue a little bit of testing and they move it into the certification process, we can then get a hotfix or a patch for the BTB issue. However, it is still a little too soon for an ETA, but they do want to release it as soon as possible, but they also need to make sure it doesn't have any other unintended impacts to the retail product. So it's not going to be this week, but they hope it's not too much further out, and they'll share an update as soon as they have a line of sight on the release date. So this is great news for BTB fans and just Halo players alike. Sooner rather than later, we will again be able to experience BTB properly in Halo Infinite without running into all the matchmaking issues. This is great for people that obviously love BTB and it's their favorite mode, but it's also good for people who just like Halo in general and would occasionally jump into a BTB match. This isn't the only thing though that Sketch talks about in this post. He also acknowledges that there are a number of other topics that us as a community are eager to hear about, including specifically some issues with instances of cheating. Now for this one, they're working on a patch for mid-February that looks to address this and some other things that they don't go on to name, and they say that they're going to have more details to come as we get closer to the release of that patch. They're actively working on getting as much into the February update while ensuring that there's no negative impacts or regressions to other parts of the game. So again, this is a pretty big deal. Obviously, as we talked about in the video earlier today, hacking is definitely an issue in Halo Infinite, and it's only going to get worse as time goes on. It's nice to see that 343 has acknowledged that, and they are actively working on fixes for it, and hopefully it's enough to kind of fend off some of the hacking issues we've been seeing. I'm still interested to see if they make a ruling on mines from BBG or if they kind of just let that one fester, although that's much more of an HCS thing than just a general 343 issue. Now obviously it's a little bit rough to have to think we're going to continue to have to play with hackers until mid-February, but at least 343 has acknowledged the issue, they let us know that they're working on it, and other than that all we can really do is wait there. Whether or not we want to keep playing in the meantime is kind of up to you personally, but at least fixes are on the horizon. We just have to hope that they do enough to fend off the hackers. Now this post doesn't talk about some of the big issues that I'd also like to hear about, like the desync and server issues, along with a slew of other issues. So hopefully we get some more blog posts soon, kind of talking about when we could expect fixes for those, maybe get a content roadmap in the near future, but I appreciate this communication from 343 and from Sketch. And that's pretty much going to do it for the post, guys. BTB changes are on the horizon, hopefully in the next week or so. Along with further out, we have a patch that's going to work on some of the cheating issues and maybe some other things as they're trying to pack as much into that mid-February update as possible. I'll be interested to see what all makes it into that patch. I hope it's more than just measures to combat cheating, but we'll have to wait and see there or wait for some more communication from 343. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and with that said, I'll see you all next time.